Good afternoon, quilt roadies. Well, it is Halloween, so if you celebrate, happy Halloween. I can't tell you what joy I get in passing out candy. I love seeing all the little kids with all their costumes and all the teenagers with their costumes. It's just I don't know. It's so fun to see, and the families and all that. So I've got all my candy ready. I've only eaten one piece today. Yeah. And my oldest grandson won best costume at school for his costume, and it was a giant bag of flaming hot Cheetos. I know. It's so great. It's so great. Oh, there's someone walking their dog. It is the perfect Halloween because there's no rain. We've had weeks of wind and rain. And today, yes, the witches have granted us a break. And so we should get a nice turnout. I tend to indulge in my trick-or-treaters candy. I buy good candy because I cultivate. I want them to remember where they got that candy and come back next year. Yeah. I used to do that in Sisters too. The first year we had lived in Sisters, I got exactly 8 kids. It was devastating. But of those 8 kids, I said, remember where you got this candy. And the next year, I had a crowd. Yeah. Okay. So what have I been up to? I've been up to quite a bit. It's, I just kind of roll with the punches. I knew that I can't show it to you because I've already gifted it. My oldest grandson, I make him a Halloween pillowcase because I just remember when I was a kid, that's what we used for our trick-or-treat bags was a pillowcase. And I love Halloween fabric, so I had quite a bit of it and picked out some pieces and made a pillowcase, which is so fun and satisfying. And G said, are you going to be able to get that done before we have to leave the house? And I said, no, it'd take me less than an hour. And sure enough, I got it done. And so I dropped the pillowcase and a baggie of candy off at his mother's work with a note in it that said, there are 12 pieces of candy. If there are less, you need to have a conversation with your mother. So there we go. So so I made a pillowcase this week. And earlier, I think I might have told you this, my girlfriend, Pocket Robin, and I think I've explained this a million times, but in our quilt group, we called her Pocket Robin because she has all the answers. If you can't think of what it is you need to do, or where is that pattern, or what am I supposed to do here, she would have the answer. So it's like a pocket calculator or something. So Pocket Robin was traveling back east to visit her younger son and 2 younger grandkids and daughter-in-law. So she left her car here, and I drove her to the airport, and she will be coming back tomorrow. So we had some shopping time, and we went to Pioneer Quilts. And you know, when you shop alone, it seems like the adult in you is shopping. When you shop with a friend, it's like the minions are shopping. And so this pattern by Primitive Gatherings, what the heck? I'm going to Primitive Gatherings in November. In fact, this morning, Teresa Kogut, who is our, will be picking us up at the airport, and the three of us, Janine, Teresa, and I, will be staying together at Primitive Gatherings, texted this morning, "Are we ready?" Oh my gosh, are we ready? So why I got a pattern at Pioneer Quilts from Primitive Gatherings, I can't explain it other than I was shopping with a friend and not by myself. I could have an adult conversation with myself, such as, you really don't need that. You've got enough at home. You need to save your money. But when you're with a friend, it's like, do it, do it, do it, get it, get it, get it. Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. So here's the pattern. We both fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love. And many of you will know why I fell in love with it, but here we go. Look at that. It is a 22-inch square pillow. That's a big pillow. But it's a dragonfly. And I have so many fond memories from my mother. And I know I've told many of you the story of the dragonflies, but I have an affinity for dragonflies. So yes, that was a yes. What I didn't think about, and I'm glad I didn't think about it, was that I should have just waited and got it at Primitive Gatherings, because they probably had a kit with all the wool. In the moment, I couldn't stop myself. So I came home, and then I was happy that I had it, and I didn't wait to get it at Primitive Gatherings, because I have so much wool. I've been a wool aficionado for years, and I have it all separated in drawers by color. But it did take me 4 days to prep it, whereas a kit, they kind of have curated all the colors. The pattern has the color written on it, so you have like a no-brainer thing going on. But I had to curate all the colors. And so that took me 4 days. 4 days. Now you have to understand, when it comes to wool patterns, and this is they do a great job with their patterns because it's already reversed. And I use SF101, which isn't made right now, but there are other fusible, double-sided fusible, lightweight for my pieces of wools, because I fuse them down. Because when I travel with them, I don't want to lose the pieces. It took 4 days because I had to figure out the variations of the color, of what they were talking about. And when they had a description of the color, what did that mean? What did the color mason jar mean in the world of wool? So that was why it took me so long. And as you well know, I am not a perfectionist. I am a get it done and eyeball it and kind of work with it. And so I did. And here it is, all prepped. Look at that. So now I am ready to stitch it. I put SF101 on the back, and then I fused down all the pieces. Yes, I'm really happy. And then just because I was feeling quite smug with myself, I decided to get all the threads, the kind of threads that I would use for this piece, and put them all in this little pouch. And so I have the needles and all the threads ready to go to stitch that down. And so this next week I will start that. I might even take this with me to primitive gatherings. It's kind of big, but you know, it might be kind of fun to kind of show off a bit. Yeah, I tell you, this pattern is called Nordic Wings, and I know Robin is making it as a wall hanging, but I am going to do the pillow. I don't have enough wall space. She moved recently, and so she's still still in that decorating mode. I found this picture. I was looking for pictures, and I found this picture of myself in high school. This was my yearbook picture when I was a senior. My parents couldn't really afford to buy senior pictures, so I never had senior photos taken like most people do. I just had one picture taken by the photographer for the yearbook. And so I have this one little picture. The other thing that I've been thinking about, because it's kind of like, I just roll with it. I saw on Instagram that there's an artist who actually takes photographs and over embroids on them. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not, but I've always been intrigued by that. And I found this picture of my parents' wedding day that is not the original. I wouldn't do this to the original, but it's a copy of the original. And so I'm going to give it a try. So here's the picture. Look at that. There's my parents. My mother's wedding dress, she made it out of a parachute, an army parachute. Isn't that a hoot and a half? And then my dad's best man friend ultimately ended up marrying the maid of honor. And I didn't meet them until I was about 10 years old, I think. They came to visit with their daughter. And so I'm going to try to embroider the bouquet. It's a very distinctive look and fine embroidery. So I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, it is a copy, and I have the original, so I could conceivably do it again. Let's see. I don't know where it has my name on the back. I don't know where we got the copy from. It might have been G, because he used to have a dark room, and he might have done that. So I got a pillowcase done. I got the wool pillow prepped. And then I thought I need to get on the bandwagon when it comes to Christmas gifts, because I can't believe tomorrow's November 1st. And so I want to get some things done. And I had on this back rack here some table runners. And so I'm all ready to quilt a table runner. It's already finished except for the quilting, because what I decided to do was, because it was a modern looking table runner, so here's the table runner, is that I would envelope it. And I'm kind of cheap when it comes to my supplies, and so I have a whole bag of pieces of fusible batting that I save. So whenever I've quilted a quilt with fusible batting, whatever I cut off, I stuff in back in the bag and save it for other projects. And so in the middle of this is 3 pieces of batting that I butted up together, and it's fusible batting. And then I put the backing right sides together, and sewed all the way around the edge, leaving an opening, and then I turned it inside out. And so now it's basically finished except for the quilting. So I'm going to quilt this, and it doesn't need a binding because it's been enveloped, and so it has a clean edge. And I have another project done, which I love that. And this was made from leftover scraps from a previous quilt. So it's great. It's great. It's a beautiful little table runner. So I did that about an hour ago. Yeah, did that about an hour ago. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit wanting to get some things. I want to get this rack a little bit done. I'm going to next, I have this Edita Sitar, I think it's who did this Christmas quilt. I am going to pull that off this afternoon and start attaching the facing. The binding I'm going to do is going to be facing so that it'll be ready to hang up come December. Yeah, I know. It seems like I am a little hyperactive, and that would be absolutely the truth. Would be absolutely the truth. I mean, we had a guy today come give us a quote for possibly doing a leaf filter rain gutter on the back, because we have a lot of trees around us. And he wanted to schedule an appointment and all that. I said, absolutely not. I can't even think about a day that I could give him. I wish I was that organized, but I spent an hour looking for my library card. Yeah, so yeah, no. He was very nice, though. He was very nice. Okay, so getting back to some questions that were in the last video or comments. Pat Zimmerman says, how do you hang a faced quilt? You're not going to like it. Well, let me just say, there are some faced quilts I've done where I put a sleeve on the top, and then I've had a quilt hanger that had a like the quilt hanger I have downstairs. Yeah, you've all seen it, huh? The quilt hanger I have downstairs it has a bar that goes through a sleeve. And so sometimes I will put a sleeve on the back of a faced quilt. But more often than not, I just staple it to the wall. I know I heard a squeal and scream, but I have found that it doesn't hurt the quilt at all. And I don't even notice it. And then I get to hang it up and I don't worry about it. So that's what I do. I either make like a tube on the back, if it has a bar for a quilt hanger, or if it's going directly on the wall, I just staple it in 2 corners. Now, Stitchy Witch 42 asked me how I hang things on the design wall. And on my design wall, it is covered with a flannel, a beige flannel. It's insulation that I covered with a beige flannel, and then we attached it to the wall. And I just most things just by like a static electricity, that it just sticks on there. But like something heavier like that tomato quilt, I wasn't sure it would stay up as long as I would want it to, so I put 2 pins on it because it's insulation. It's 2 pieces of insulation. Okay. So the tomato quilt, Chloe was asking, that tomato quilt, that's a Laura Heine pattern, and she does sell some things in kits. I actually can't remember, it's been so long since I think I did buy this directly from her. Now you might check with Cedar Ridge Quilts in Oregon City, because they do carry quite a bit of Laura Heine patterns. But she has a website too, so you can check there. I recommend buying a quilt kit for her patterns, and the only reason being, I have done one without it, and it's challenging because to curate all the fabrics that you want. Now, years ago, if you remember, I did the octopus, and that was out of a lot of my own fabrics. Yeah. The landscapers are here. They're cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. I bet you they love it today. It's not raining. Okay. Robin Siller, had a great idea when we were talking last time about labels, how to attach labels and for security and stuff. And she said she attaches the label to the backing of the fabric before it's quilted, so that whether you're quilting it or the quilter's quilting it, it is quilted over the top, and so it's pretty hard to get that off if it's been quilted onto the back. Yeah, I thought that was an excellent idea, and I'm going to try and do that myself. Okay. Michelle, what would we do without our friends? She said the sign-ups for Quilters Affair are going to be in January 14th, 2026, not the 1st. So something must have come out that I didn't read yet. I'll have to double check that. But I hope I see some of you there. We always have such a great time, such a great time. And I am still looking for, now someone told me that there was the Christmas Tilda fabric at Michael's. I find that hard to believe because that fabric is so expensive. But I'm going to go check it out. Maybe not on Halloween. No, because who knows what time that first trick-or-treater is going to come. Yeah. I think we have reached it. I think we have reached it. I'm going to be quilting this afternoon, and yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I hope you all are doing well. I know this can be a challenging time of year if you're in the cold zone. Oh, and that hurricane it was almost like you couldn't stop looking at the news. I just can't even imagine the ocean. Yeah. I grew up always, heck, I was born on a beach. It's in my blood. It is in my blood. But oh, it is so powerful. So powerful. Okay, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween if you celebrate. Tomorrow is November 1st. Then we head to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm feeling kind of smug. Got my first Christmas thing almost done. You all take care, and you know, I love you guys.